Very controversial, right? You think you who?
Yeah.
You think like you some model, some superstar, you can like 批评他们, can criticize them. You also nobody.
What if it's the maid poke one?
What if she's not even pregnant?
Yeah, that's why.
It's ridiculous.
Then the culture shock.
They're like,
I got sell my house!
I can understand why people post that now. But the story's a bit really uncensored.
On this episode of Get It Out, we are talking about Reddit confessions. So our producer went to the Singapore thread and then pick out all the juicy stories.
Singapore raw lah.
Correct.
Actually, I'm curious because Reddit like seems like a thing of the past.
Really? Then what's the current thing then?
This guy
Yeah, you see?
He say for the sake of saying.
You say for the sake of saying, no, solution.
But Reddit has been around for the longest time. I'm quite curious because last time I used to go on Reddit for confession or like juicy stories, right? But I feel like the new generation don't go there.
No, now it's making a comeback already.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
So that's why that brings me to my question. I was quite curious whether the new generation, do they use Reddit or do they use other form of social media? Nowadays, I feel like the gossip is all happening on TikTok already. For the older generation, we use the hardware zone.
I don't like that place.
Wow,
Sorry, that place is
so
one
cool.
motherfucking cesspool of toxicity.
Yeah, I just want to know like, do a lot of people still use Reddit? That's why if y'all do, right, y'all comment and let me know.
So before we start, I got a couple of announcements to make.
Ding dong ding dong ding dong ding dong.
The announcement is that after this episode, we are going to stop doing Get It Out
Forever!
for 2 weeks. We won't release for 2 weeks. We are going to have an episode break and recalibrate our company, and also going to change our upload day from Saturday to Wednesday.
As you can tell, we all very tired already. You see my eye like closing already.
Yeah. You may be watching this in 2026, but this is still too old to find for us. So,
It's December. We holiday mood already.
is that the start of December?
The producer one start the show, I'll be like,
Very low energy. And in fact, this right now about 3 p.m. It's already my third shoot.
Wow.
My first shoot I had to wake up for 7:30 a.m.
Wow. It's me and Ben's like 7.
Yeah.
We started at
For
2
today,
a.m.
yeah.
For today.
I
started at 2 a.m.
I
So in the
see.
morning, we went to shoot some documentary.
Right.
Netflix series, documentary, movie.
So by the time this video come out, right, all our videos should be ready, right? Let's put the links of all the videos that we shot
No,
today.
we don't know if they will release.
They may not release.
We shoot only ma.
So might be cancelled lah.
Might be.
You know,
Let's then just start with the first story. The first story is from Agreeable AV909. This maid I've been seeing is now claiming that she's pregnant, even though I know that can't be possible because I always use a condom. Condom is only 99%. But now suddenly she is claiming that she's pregnant and had to pay for her abortion, and she demands $10,000 from me. I'm just a poly student.
that it gets weirder, man.
Yeah.
worse.
Okay,
Wait, there's so
Wait,
much to take in. I haven't even recovered from the first sentence.
the key words here is maid I have been seeing and a poly student. I'm just a poly student. I don't have that much on me. Plus, I don't want to be a dad at this age, as I got a lot going for me. I asked ChatGPT and read our MOM website that maids are not allowed to get pregnant as they won't be able to work in Singapore. I was wondering, if I report her to MOM and ICA, can she get deported? I got all the WhatsApp messages from her because I took screenshots of it. Just asking, what happens if I report to ICA and MOM? Could I get in trouble? That is the whole crux of the issue. It's not even about the pregnancy.
I can understand why people post that now. But the story's a bit really uncensored.
Yeah, because I a bit not used to this. Every time our audience reaction send in their story, right? Because their face is there, they send a story, right?
This one no face.
It's quite PG. This is just straight up.
Straight up.
So he haven't moved for the past 3 minutes.
This is why it's called Singapore Raw.
So man,
Can we again?
fuck you.
Okay, let's break it down first. Let's
Let's break it down. Let's one by one.
Yeah, one by one. So the first question I will ask you, right, is it okay to be dating your mate?
Hey, love holds no boundaries.
Correct.
Okay, don't say mate lah. I put it in a nicer term. Domestic helper. Are you okay with that?
I won't lah.
You won't?
But I won't judge you lah.
Right. So,
Like I won't judge you openly lah.
but then when he read the first sentence, all of yours done already. Correct, right?
Why I had that reaction at the start, right, is because I already saw a poly student. I think the dynamics a little bit
I
weird.
think what we can decipher or like take away from this story is that this guy is just a poly student. So is he like mature enough to actually be doing all this at the same time? Because they got maybe some younger audience.
Right.
I think we also need to educate them like, is this the right track that
Okay,
poly students should be taking?
But let's be real. most of the poly students are having sex. With each other at least.
But that brings to the point, whether domestic helper or not, it's always good to practice safe sex.
No, for sure.
Which brings us to our client, Durex.
Yeah.
Oh, today no client.
You see his face?
I mean, nobody tell me anything. I didn't know.
But it's fine if that's
Why? Then you want to say what? Durex is 100%.
No. But if Durex want to sponsor us,
right.
not that I need lah. Not that I need. Usually,
Why? Because have your size, is it?
Yeah. They need to, manufacture like
Custom made for you.
custom made for me.
Wow, okay.
because they don't make so small.
But our fact is, a foreign domestic worker, right, in Singapore is generally not allowed to get pregnant or give birth in Singapore during her work permit period. So whatever he's thinking, right, to send her back, right, or report her, is doable.
Wait, so the thing is, the maid threatened him like 10K for abortion.
Yeah.
So the dilemma is whether to bring her back to the country or do the abortion.
Yeah, because if he report, hopefully when the authorities take action, she just disappear, his problem disappear. He don't have to deal with the pregnancy nor the money thing or the abortion. Really, he's asking advice on ChatGPT and going to Reddit to ask. Clearly, he's not thinking it through.
My advice
Yes.
for this young gentleman,
Yes.
把那个孩子生下来。
Wow, that's a heavy move,
I will do that. Because like you already did that mistake. You can't afford 10K. Either way, right? Both way you need to give money. You 生下来不生下来. I rather use the money to like amend your mistake. Maybe the maid have to go back to the country, right?
Yeah.
Send a bit of money over, lor.
Right.
But you must understand, he's just a poly student.
I get lah, but I always been someone that don't believe in abortion.
Right. You see, because when I hear 10K, right, generally I don't think abortion costs 10K. La. So according to research, it's $800 to 5K on Google. La. That's
So
what it
possible.
says. So 10K, it really feels like I'm not trying to defend the poly student because both sides got wrong.
Yeah.
But like
Feel like extortion.
yeah, it feels like extortion and like he's blackmailing the kid because
lah.
technically he's just a poly student.
The other 5K is after about we're hungry.
Yeah, you don't
Inflation
for you to
recovery
feed
lah.
you, you need 5K. But I don't know how old this domestic helper is, but both of them, they're not thinking straight lah. I
Right.
think they're really just in the moment. Horny lah.
Horny 咯，你看到
Confirm
horny 咯
horny，
你是不是他讲他用 condom right？
对。
Yeah.
要 check 有没有洞。
What if it's the maid poke one?
What if she's not even pregnant?
Yeah, that's why. That's why.
There is also a possibility. I don't want to give this guy any advice, but I will break it down the problem if it's me.
Okay.
First, verify whether she's really pregnant or not.
Yes.
Number two, we have to really try to find a way to verify is that child even mine or not. These two the most important thing. No matter what I decide to do after that, like 生abort 还钱去借钱都好, I would never just do this sort of dog move to
Call
IC and deport her. I think you might temporarily be blind to the problem, but 20 years later, got one little kid, Baba, finish.
Yeah. I feel like temporary solution always not the way
Yeah.
to go. It always bites you in the ass.
Yeah.
Just go and tell your parents. Be truthful about it. Go and ask your parents for advice.
Yeah.
Then be responsible. Whatever happens next is up to you and the whoever is involved.
Maybe your parents happy, become grandfather.
Second story by Sweet Little Tang. Ding, 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 dang.
Ding dang dang ding, ding ding dang dang dang.
Okay, this person, I don't know guy or girl, but I say, bro, dating is literally impossible nowadays. Yesterday, I went on a date with this guy and I thought about how, okay lah, he drove and fetched me and all, plus I was the one who asked him out on this date. So I decided to pay for our food. The bill was $100 plus anyway, by the way. Then, to my surprise, the restaurant actually accepted CDC voucher. Like, damn, any normal person would be fucking happy, and I didn't know that restaurant can use CDC. No need to fork out full cash. So I just used that while he stood behind me and watched. Okay, then guess what? After he drove me home, before I exited the car, he said, by the way, you used CDC voucher just now for the restaurant, kind of embarrassing eh. Excuse me, pardon me sir, then you pay lah, what the fuck? Instead of thanking me for the treat, you say my payment method is embarrassing. Get the fuck out, man. I literally heard him, then exited the car because I really don't know what to say at the moment.
My first question is, the girl pay for the guy?
Yeah.
Kan ni na dia gugup siao ah.
Oh, we are in a very progressive time.
But I think it's because she said that she asked him out for a date. So whoever asked the other party out for a date should take responsibility of the date ma.
Yeah.
So if I were to ask you out for a date, then maybe I treat you lah.
But I will say no lah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Then you go yourself.
Yeah, I go myself, I pay for myself.
yeah,
Yeah.
To me, nothing wrong with that. In fact, I feel like, wow, this girl like quite prudent, know how to
Use CDC,
resourceful enough to deal with this.
I think nowadays people mindset of CDC is like it's a voucher. I don't see it as a voucher. I see more as a cash.
yeah, I just see
This
it as
money
cash. yeah.
It's extra money. It's just that whether I can use this cash at where only.
But what if because we don't know how this sweet little thing look like, right?
Yeah.
What if she meet me?
Okay.
Average.
Okay.
And then the guy like very handsome.
Doesn't matter.
Not
Why is this
Yeah,
kind of
but
matter?
Very relax lah.
So if I handsome people play his
I don't want to see the girl again.
Oh.
Y'all get it? Like
So he purposely
say something like, wow, put the person down so that the girl will also think like, wow, this guy, why he treat me like that? But actually maybe from the guy's point of view, it's like, okay, this date didn't go well. Maybe he didn't know how to handle it properly. Then they're still very young. Then he's just like, wow, embarrassing, sia.
You know what? I think you're onto something because throughout this whole story, right, she never said how the date actually went.
Yeah.
From fetching straight away at the paying already.
Yeah.
So what happened in between?
But-
We don't know.
But I do get it. Like, yeah, the guy wasn't appreciative. I mean, technically, dude, you paid for a meal now. At least he should at least say thank you. Like,
Right.
wow, you see this here? Hey, but thanks. Like that, I think okay.
I think the main question we have here, right, is if someone treats you for dinner, right, do you think you have the right to comment on how they pay? No, right?
lah, sell.
I think that's a simple, straight up no lah.
Wait, okay.
very
That
straightforward.
brings me back to a point. Quite recently, I discovered this TikTok account. She document her dating life.
Okay.
So she will film
Okay.
going on a date.
We from the guy also.
No, she will never show the guy face.
Okay, but it's herself lah.
Herself. And then after that, right, 有那个 review.
Wait, what?
她 review 那个 guy. 真的，我 sumpah.
Okay.
Wait, so-
in Singapore.
In Singapore, very controversial, right?
Right.
So a lot of people go like, you think you who?
Yeah.
You think like you some model, some superstar, you can like 批评他们, can
Right.
criticize them.
Yeah.
You also nobody. Because the thing she say quite harsh. So she say things like, the guy come a bit late. It was very turned off for me. Example, not 100% accurate, but she say things like that. So she really review to the minute details. When I watch all this, right, it feels like there's a stigma of how people should date.
Like you feel like there's a SOP.
Yeah, guys should do that, girls should do that. I mean, yes, to a certain extent. I also have like, I do feel like guys should pay that kind of thing, right? But I think at the end of the day, just go and have fun, lor.
Yeah, lor.
有就有，没有就没有。
Yeah, go with the flow, lor.
I feel like now everything man is so serious.
Yeah.
But I also feel like when I just say about the want to ghost, I feel like 没有这样严重啦. Because like, if I don't like, I'll just ghost. I won't like come with excuses.
Yeah,
and
but
say,
we are all different individuals. Maybe very hard to reject her outright. Maybe Dina had a good time and he find that this is an easier way. Make the girl hate him instead. For me, I feel like it's not dating is impossible nowadays. I think it's just that guy lah. Personally, I will appreciate that you use whatever mode to pay. I think I'm already very thankful. That's number one. I see you use CDC. I will think you are resourceful. I think you're prudent. I think being in a serious relationship, you will think of how to save money.
actually, if you use your CDC on me, I'll be damn happy. I actually feel my CDC voucher very sacred. I don't anyhow use
It's
one.
the last resort, right?
Don't anyhow use. What's the last thing you buy with your CDC voucher?
You don't even need to say, I already know the answer.
Yeah,
I already know the answer.
Why not you tell me?
No,
you think you're right?
no.
Say lah.
Pokemon card.
Correct lah. I use it to buy things that I won't use my own money to buy. So it's something I want, not I need.
Right.
But it's something I use. It's so sacred to me. I don't anyhow spend on
Right.
Only like, wow, fuck, this Pokemon shop can use CDC.
Yeah.
Wow, I normally won't buy one.
Okay.
I'm gonna use part of my $10. Until today, I still got CDC voucher.
I still have also.
Yeah.
But
Even
I
my-
really use it for groceries lah.
No,
Like you
no,
lah.
there's two separate one, There's grocery and the
Normal CDC
normal
voucher.
CDC. So even the supermarket, I also never use. I don't know what I'm saving for lah.
Yeah, why?
But it's like very secret to me. I don't know why.
It is. So actually, if a girl or guy use CDC on you, right? Wow.
Actually very important
Yeah.
Like it feels like, wow, you sacrifice that goal for me.
No, but other people might think it this way. Wow, I'm not worth your own money. You must use government money to pay
It's
for
all
me.
money, bro.
钱可以赚，你可以赚 CDC voucher 吗？
Yeah, that's true.
没有
不可以
人家给我。
对啦，不可以赚的嘞，
Some
那个
people
那
like-
个 limited edition 的嘞。
Oh yeah, 对。
Okay,
That's why
okay.
you keep so much.
I still keep it.
So sweet little thing, you can just move on. I think you will find a man that will appreciate you and your CDC.
So little thing, probably not watching this. We got this off Reddit,
Yeah.
But I feel like
we never know.
I feel like I want to bring back to our roots of Get It Out. It has always been a professional advice
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
unprofessionals.
Correct,
yes, yes.
correct.
So this time, my unprofessional advice from a professional unprofessional.
Okay.
Like me.
Yeah,
You are professional,
I get it.
unprofessional.
Yeah. When you go dating or when you're in love or whatnot, right?
Right.
The most important thing is, are you happy being yourself? You feel like you're someone that will use CDC voucher to pay, right? You need to find someone that use their CDC voucher on you. Correct or not? Then like that you'll be genuinely happy. I always say that dating is like a trying out phase. Fail, then fail lah. Go next one.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing. 没有 then don't like, wow, shit, is it dating very hard? It's just that you'll break up and that's very, very
Yeah.
fine. There's 7 billion people in the world.
Yeah.
Go to 8 already. Because some people condom break. So there's a lot of people out there that's probably suited for you.
Okay, next question. My mum volunteered me to pay for CNY dinner before I even got my first pay. That's the title lah. So this is just a shortened version by Electrical Truth Zero. I just started working and constantly stressed until working 2 a.m. every night. 3 weeks into work during CNY, I told my mum not to cook because she'd be tired and I couldn't help as I had a bad burn on my hand. Without asking me, she posted in the family group chat that since I prefer eating out for CNY, I'll be paying for everyone even before I got my first pay. She kept hinting about eating Hai Di Lao, and although I didn't mind, even my brother and sister-in-law said it was too expensive for someone who just started working. In the end, I brought her to Hai Di Lao in JB instead. Second month in, she asked me to help pay $900 worth of bills, claiming she would pay me back in cash. Weeks later, she used chores and cooking as leverage, saying I should just pay the $900 and accused me of not contributing. She keeps demanding an allowance even though I already pay for groceries, her skincare, meals, and household stuff. We had always agreed that I would only start paying bills next year after my increment because I'm still on probation, but she keeps moving the goalposts. Meanwhile, she never expects anything from my brother and treats him completely differently. When I finally snap, she threatened to sell the house, so I have to rent outside. I'm exhausted and feel like she's being calculative and unfair, and I don't know what to do.
I think every adult friend that I have, right,
Yes.
that had problems with their family, right, they were very scared to rent outside and all that, right, but all of them that did really felt that they should have done it earlier.
But this person just started working. Maybe
Yeah
she
lah,
don't,
yeah. A bit
he
hard
or
lah.
she don't have the capacity
Yeah.
to rent outside.
But the thing is, if you're gonna pay for that already, you might as well use the money to rent.
For a room, even a
That's
small
not-
room, though, at least it's your own space.
But is it any fault on the mum to put this responsibility on her child like that? But in a sense, her brother don't receive the same treatment.
That's the thing I'm very confused about.
why the brother don't need to, right?
Why my eyes so itchy?
Wait, what? Because you watch wrong thing.
What I'm more confused about, right, is why the brother is not in the crosshair of the mom.
I think the brother is married because got sister-in-law, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
So that means could be an older brother.
I think I know why.
Because got family. They
Yes,
themselves got
correct.
family.
I feel from this story, I assume a few things. Number one, your mom is on the older side, at least 50 plus.
Okay.
Number two, because she's on the older side, she has the mindset of the guy need to take care of the family.
Okay.
So I won't take. So you, as the daughter that haven't moved out, you need to pay for the house because you don't have a family to take care of. That's what I assume lah. And I feel like I cannot because it's like I expect you to pay for me. I feel like I don't have a life of my own. I live for you.
Yeah.
I live for my parents. I think like on some levels it's not right.
From what y'all are saying, y'all would not expect your future children to give you an allowance or take care of you in the future.
Of course.
Everything else is just bonus.
For me lah, if when I have a kid, right, I would be very close to my kid and I won't expect like my kid to do certain things that I want. Like if my kid have a certain hobby that I may not appreciate, I think it's fine. But things like illegal stuff, then of course I will shape that way. Don't lah.
Like
But
step in already
yeah,
lah.
any other things, I feel like it's your own life. You should shape how you want your life to be. I can guide you through certain ways that I have experienced. That's my job as a parent. I want you to live the best of your life.
I think this situation is actually more common than we think. Like nowadays, it's called the sandwich generation.
Aiyo.
A lot of middle class people.
Talking about sandwich, make me feel better.
What is this got to do with sandwich?
Huh?
What is this got to do with sandwich?
You know, some sandwich very dry. Then you just feel like drinking some tea, especially from Chachi.
You must turn the logo, see a bit.
The smell is so fragrant. It looks like it's quenching your thirst.
Wow.
So I think it's more common than we think, and it's called what? Sandwich generation.
Oh, talking about sandwich.
Yeah, because the top is your parents, you're trying to, you need to take care of the top.
Yeah.
Then at the same time, you have kids, then you have to take care of the bottom.
But in that case, every generation will have a sandwich generation.
Only if you think that your kids need to take care of you, then you are the cause of the sandwich problem. This is why I think retirement, like taking care of your retirement is very, very important.
You need to be self-sufficient.
Yeah, really self-sufficient.
Cannot count your children.
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, you really cannot count children. You only can count 自己.
Yeah.
That's why the sponsor for today is...
No, guys, this episode is completely, there's no existence of sponsor. I don't
no
know,
sponsor?
Durex, Chagi, Grab, then this,
What? investment.
Investment, what CPF you are, everything what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This episode don't have.
Yeah.
But it'll be good to have.
Yeah, we go ahead. If we are giving you ideas in our future episodes. These are the titles that can come in.
Yeah, we're very good at this kind of.
So I think right, it's very important for you to make sure that you are financially secured in your retirement. Then you decide to have children because like you are essentially kicking the can down the road, right? When you are having children, right? Then you like ask them to take care of you. Because actually your retirement it's not your children's problem,
Yeah, lor.
It's your own problem,
Who knows, right? Maybe your child have some financial issues also.
Yeah.
Right?
They are facing their own problems.
Yeah, they have their own problem to settle.
And they never asked to be on earth.
Yeah.
You brought them here.
Correct. Which is why I think her solution, move out, rent.
You think it's move out and rent?
I think move out.
Or you rather have a conversation first?
I feel like this is beyond conversation because she lash out, she frustrated, she snapped, right?
Yes.
What was the response from the mother? I sell the house, you move out, you have to rent.
My assumption is that when she do this kind of thing, the mom will be like, as a daughter, you are ridiculous. There's this generation thinking, but different generation think differently. We feel like respect should be earned, but for them, respect is
given.
Given one. I'm your mom, You
Yes.
should give me money. Then when they say like, no, I don't think I should give you money. Then they're like,
Huh?
that's ridiculous.
Then the culture shock.
They're like, I got sell my house.
I think for my advice is, I think have a conversation first. Be the more mature one. Sit down, talk. If she don't want to listen, so be it. Then you weigh your options like move out or like maybe discuss with your sibling. Because maybe your brother can help you out. I don't know why he's not helping you out, but maybe your brother and sister-in-law can help you out and like, ask him to talk to your mom.
And I feel like my unprofessional professional advice is about like, you move out. For me, I will never think of moving out because Ryan connected me with Easy ID and
Oh my god, guys!
just like do a very nice like room for me.
When you use Easy ID, you use their app which is HomePay.
Yes.
How many product placement you want to do? You are, I think, up to 6 at this point.
Yeah, I'm gonna do.
You're gonna continue.
Every story, right, we'll try to plug something.
Correct.
Just for you guys, okay?
I also want to test my limit.
Okay, next story by Seridan. I look too young buying condoms and the 7-Eleven aunties judge me. I look...
I tired.
This is a very funny story.
Tired.
Ready? I look younger than my actual age. So when I was 19, I basically still looked like I was 15 to 16. So imagine how nervous I was when I bought condoms for the first time. My logic was, go when it's not crowded, pay, GTFO, big mistake. The 7-Eleven auntie was talking with a colleague and when I brought the pack to the counter, both aunties stared at me like, what the fuck you think you're doing, boy? Type of look. Then the auntie told me, you need to be 18 to buy this, And I told her I was 19. She obviously didn't believe me, so she asked for my IC. I gave my IC and she was like, you look damn young. You sure you can handle it or not, boy? I was super embarrassed and just left the money on the counter, grabbed the condoms which she scanned and bolted. Was there any instances where this happened to you where you look too young to actually be doing anything?
Usually I think the auntie will say, boy, 不用了，你要 start family 了。Time to start family.
Actually, this reminded me of a story that happened to me. So basically, I was in Genting with my fiancée. So we wanted to go to a casino, like play game. When she went in, the security didn't check her passport. But when I approached the security, they checked my passport. Then I like, hey, they check my passport, means they think I'm young. Wow, then she got super angry, She like, cannot be. So she walked out of the casino and then walked back in again to see if they check the passport.
Never check.
They never check.
Then you swung.
The funny thing is, right, Nigel is older. I'm very puzzled, When Nigel first joined the company, okay, for me, right, I always felt like Nigel is old.
Because you know him.
Yeah, I know him. I never had the impression like, Nigel is young kid, he don't look young to me lah.
Yeah.
But when he come in, everybody think like he's damn young.
Yeah.
Not just younger than me, but it's like 5 years age gap. People thought he like still in school,
Edmund guessed he was like 24.
No way.
Yeah,
really. Do you all feel Nigel look young? You all think how old is he? We're not going to review his age, but I just want to know.
Why don't want to review? Is that a review?
Everybody know my age, I'm 35 this year.
Silence, nobody believe. Nobody believe.
Okay. But got this kind of situation happen to you.
I feel like when you buy condom, need tactic. So when you buy condom, you cannot just buy the condom. You must buy a lot of things. You must confuse the cashier.
I think when you buy a lot of things, right, that particular thing will stand out.
What is that? So you buy like things that similar shape one.
Okay.
So for example, Eclipse.
You okay.
Eclipse sweet. like rectangular then you followed by maybe a good like Pokemon pack, right? Because plastic, rectangle. Let's go like human psychology.
Okay.
Let's say I'm a cashier.
Right.
When a customer come up to me and they present me with one-time condom, I'm like, wow, you're getting lucky tonight.
Right,
you know?
right, yeah.
Because that's the only thing you're getting.
Yeah.
But if you buy multiple things, then like they come with a lot of things, you won't notice what's there. So it's like I take the condom. I don't like less of a, it's less obvious.
Actually, maybe the advice goes out instead to this boy who did nothing wrong. The advice goes out to people in customer service line. Like whatever people buy, right, it's none of your business.
The cashier might be not of the business one, but it's the psychological that
Because she look damn young.
No. Yes, to this guy because the auntie like, boy 你可以买吗？你狗狗们还没长毛嘞。
I'm pretty sure she never said
Every
that.
time you become an auntie, your pee come out. Why?
Even when the cashier don't say anything, you'll be a bit like
You live in that reality where you think that they are judging you.
I guess.
It's the impression lah. Then sometimes you need to buy something big in size. Maybe for example like a newspaper.
Okay.
Confused, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Why?
Confuse the cashier.
What kind of night are you having? Like, why got all this?
Exactly. So like, are you having sex or not? You confuse the cashier.
This one just buy a big ass banana and the condom.
I feel like I know where he's going.
Just keep confusing. Every day you just come in.
Usually those people that judge people who buy condom is the never get one. Usually.
Because they never buy before.
Yeah, they never buy before, so usually they never get. Okay, moving on. Last question. My younger male colleague misread politeness as flirting and made things awkward. Ooh, this one look like a bit spicy. Spicy like the mala chips that we just... Anyways, today in the break room, I, a 35-year-old female, was just washing my cup when the new guy from the other department came in. He only been here about 1.5 months, seems really young, probably fresh out of college. I made a casual comment about his height just to be polite. Typical small talk, but then he started acting weirdly attentive, taking my basic courtesy as something more. Made me a bit uncomfortable, honestly. When I mentioned he could try modeling, just being nice, the way you compliment any young colleague, he kept turning around and looking at me, almost like he was trying to create some moment between us. The whole thing started feeling awkward really fast. Honestly, he completely misread the situation. I'm in my 30s and have zero interest in someone that young. He could practically be my little brother. The way he kept trying to make eye contact and seemed to think I was flirting was pretty uncomfortable. Some of these young guys really need to learn the difference between basic workplace politeness and actual interest. I had to basically excuse myself because he was making such a big deal of a simple break room small talk. Note to self, maybe just stick to good morning with this one. Kind of concerning how he apparently went and wrote up this whole dramatic interpretation of our brief interaction by Cyber Defense India. My first question to the user or the person who told the story is, how do you deduce so much by just that simple interaction?
I feel like, right, what did she never mention what the guy did to make me assume
like
that
stare.
maybe it's just a work politeness stare. Like,
Can you show me what's a work politeness there?
you all don't know politeness.
Yeah, you use the thing to...
Imagine that.
Okay, now we are in the break room.
Then you review. Okay, work politeness there. Come, go. That's creepy, bro.
Imagine I'm in the pantry right now.
Okay.
Then we like finish making our coffee. Okay, zao already. Then then like.
Okay,
It's the knot. It's the knot.
But it's the guy not.
Yeah lah. Then but the girls see it as like the. It could be you are the one taking in the wrong signals.
Yeah, I recently saw something. When you talk about the knot, it reminds me. Guy, right, can interpret our knots seamlessly. We never had to talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's say now I do this, you all tell me what it means.
What's up?
What's up?
Alright. Okay, then I say.
那边有东西，
那边有东西啊。
Yeah, like that.
Can
We all know, but we never talk. We never discuss.
I saw the video also. It's like different knot mean different thing one.
Yeah.
No, and some right is the same knot one. You see, I see like, what's that?
Check that out.
Okay, this one.
Let's go.
It's the same knot. It's the same knot, but different thing. Yeah, there's two sides of this story. There, of course, is people that overthink.
For sure.
And there's also people that think that they are not doing anything, but actually they are doing.
Sending a wrong signal.
Correct. So what if you do like, oh my god, you can be a model, your muscle quite big.
Yeah, the touching is totally inappropriate.
Yes. And then you might think it's polite because it's just like,
Yeah.
your muscle is quite nice. You can be a model, you know.
The person might also be sending the wrong signal,
Yeah,
but she doesn't realize it.
That's the thing. I feel like after being in this world for like a few hundred years, after
Every episode you get older and older.
yeah. Because I go through seating and then I learn a lot about the world.
You
Right?
are the 猪八戒 lah.
After I reached Nirvana, you know,
right.
when I learned about the secrets of the world,
Okay.
Yes.
I found out that actually everybody views the world differently.
Yeah.
Correct?
Right.
What's normal to me might not be normal to you.
Correct.
What's flirty to you might not be flirty to me.
Yes.
So you gave context of what you said, right? And the things you say is, hey, you can be model.
Okay, you see, we don't know whether she
There
did
wasn't
that.
a wink.
Okay.
I'm very sure that didn't happen.
For politeness, you don't go judging people's appearance. But to me, this kind of thing, right, is say when you're dating, right? You're like, oh my god, you're very tall.
Or like you're interested in the person.
you're a very tall guy, leh. Oh my god, you look like you gym a lot.
So you are saying in a workplace, you shouldn't compliment on looks.
Not say that lah, but you're talking about work politeness.
Right.
Then that is not it. You don't go like an interview like, hi, what's your name? My name is Ben. Oh my god, you look very tall. You can be a model.
Yeah, that's not the first thing you
Correct
should say.
That's not the first thing.
Right. Yeah. So I kind of get why the guy will get the wrong intention.
Yeah, okay.
And I feel like sometimes you need to look at yourself and see like, maybe, just maybe, I gave the wrong impression. But being on that topic, there's also guys that, little bit, then they touch
They in love already.
They in love already.
little bit, they didn't go 7-Eleven.
They're too simple.
Yeah. So, not to invalidate your feelings, but I feel like more often than not, I do see, right, girls feel like they don't feel like they're doing anything.
Yeah.
But when I look as a third party, actually like, got a bit.
Yeah.
Typically in a Asian setting, right, guys are not the more, or maybe in Singapore, guys are not the more daring to go approach. They will like scared rejection. So if I see the girl got interest, then I'll go. It's more like that. For
Really,
me.
man? I think in Singapore now, guys quite daring one.
I think the younger one.
Yeah, the
yes.
younger children, I feel like they're
My
quite
gen
daring,
quite shy one. Like scared rejection.
Yeah. How do you politely shut down someone who misread the
Damn easy one.
Really? Okay, how?
I feel like, right, you need to set boundaries. For example, you can drop hints one. I don't really date younger guys. I prefer older guys. Then the guy will be like,
So she got a chance to reset this lah.
yeah, can reset one. Quite easy to reset.
Actually, very good. She can just go up to him, give him even more wrong signal. You know what? She show us, what type of girls do you like? Then after that, he will say everything already. He will naturally ask, so what type of guys you like? Say everything opposite. I like short guys. I like short guys.
Yeah,
I like older guys.
I like fat one. Don't look like model.
Best is the hair is dropping out and then got a lot of money left in the bank. Then end of story already.
Sounds like your type.
No, but we're still talking about small talk in the office, right?
Yeah, correct. But if she know that there's this awkward thing.
Then if you know already,
and you know, you want to reset this, but how do you approach this, right? You continue having this conversation. At least, right, when the whole thing is over, right, everybody can still be a colleague that is not awkward anymore.
But sometimes just take a good look at yourself in the mirror.
We don't know,
You don't know lah. Maybe she look like Han So-hee.
Wow, then the one I will.
Get the wrong information.
Yeah, I will definitely.
Then after that, you look yourself in the mirror. Speaking about mirrors.
Oh my god, what can you come? I want to hear.
Speaking about mirrors, Justin Timberlake has a single called Mirrors.
That was like many years ago.
Yeah, and you should listen to that because now Spotify have their yearly unread.
Oh, and that was your most played song.
Correct.
What was your listening age when you pressed the red, the Spotify red? You pressed it?
I never pressed Spotify.
You press.
But you know what I pressed?
What?
The YouTube unread.
Oh.
YouTube also has this function where they analyze your entire year of watch. And I hope that everyone's number one is Overkill lah.
But you know where else you can click?
Yep.
The subscribe button, because according to our YouTube analytics, is that almost more than 50% of you are not subscribed.
Yeah, you are watching and not subscribed.
Correct.
This is one ad that I can stand behind.
Yeah. Stand behind, but you're sitting down.
Yeah.
The only thing standing is...
And again, we want to remind everybody, you will see us 3 weeks later on Getting Out, but our Get Fat series is still ongoing. So be sure to check that out. And also, our uploads for Getting Out will be changing from Saturdays to Wednesdays.
Yes, correct. Because we all need a break.
We all
and
need
speaking about breaks, you know, if you want to go on a holiday...
And as always, remember to follow all our socials. Click here for more, click on the subscribe, and cut to the bloopers. Let us know how many times in the comments. I'm very curious at this point. If somebody can comment all the brands and how many times was said, that would be cool.
Then the winner will walk away with a brand new Tesla. Because